Doedicurus, a massive extinct armadillo, roamed the earth over 10,000 years ago. With its unique features and impressive size, this killer armadillo was truly a force to be reckoned with. In the Pleistocene period, South American Pampers and savannas were home to a massive progenitor of the present armadillo called Doedicurus. During this time, Doedicurus roamed these environments. Around 10,000 years ago, it vanished from the fossil record along with a huge number of other great species that lived during the Ice Age. Although the effects of climate change might have played a role in its death, it is more than probable that the hunting practices of humans were also a contributing cause. Doedicurus was a member of the glyptodont family, a megafauna mammal of the Pleistocene epoch. It existed at the same time and in the same location as a large number of other massive animals and birds during the Ice Age, such as giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, and enormous flightless carnivorous birds that were often referred to as fear birds. Despite the fact that most glyptodonts were tall, flightless, carnivorous birds, they were terrifying. Additionally, it shared its environment with early humans for a period of time that was very short-lived. The fossilized remains of glyptodonts have been discovered in southern regions of the United States, ranging from Arizona to the Carolinas. However, the majority of these discoveries have been made in South America. This slow-moving vegetarian was approximately the size of a small car, and it was protected by a massive dome-shaped armored shell that had an extra smaller dome in front of it. It also had a tail that was clubbed and spiked, much like the ankylosaurus and stegosaurus dinosaurs that lived tens of millions of years before it did. According to the findings of some researchers, the spiky tails may have been utilized to assault other males who were vying for the attention of females. There is little evidence to support the theory that Doedicurus had a short, prehensile snout like an elephant's trunk, although a number of knowledgeable individuals hold this belief. The shoulder was not attached to the carapace, which is a hard top shell that was fixed to the animal's pelvis. But what could have driven the Doedicurus to grow to such a massive size, and what role did it play in its prehistoric ecosystem? Join us as we piece together the clues left behind by this mysterious and enigmatic creature. The Doedicurus was a herbivorous mammal that largely subsisted on rough vegetation, including the roots and stems of plants. Its strong jaws were designed for the task of grinding down this sort of material, which was most likely plentiful in its surroundings. Because of the intricate dentition of its teeth, which consisted of a multitude of ridges and cusps, it was able to quickly digest difficult plant matter. This lends credence to the hypothesis that Doedicurus was a selective feeder, meaning that it primarily consumed certain classes of plants that were prevalent in its natural habitat. It is possible that it needed a significant quantity of vegetation in order to satisfy its energy requirements due to its enormous size and sluggish mobility. It is believed that the majority of Doedicurus' food consisted of rough plants, which it broke down into smaller pieces with its strong jaws. There is a school of thought among paleontologists that the smaller front dome may have had a function similar to that of a camel's hump in that it stored fat for use during the dry season. It's possible that this helped the animal avoid being eaten by a predator as well. There is a group of mammals known as Cynarthra that includes every species of glyptodont. This category includes some living species such as tree sloths and anteaters, as well as several extinct species such as pamperves, which are similar to brown sloths and armadillos in appearance. However, until very recently, the precise nature of the link that exists between Doedicurus and the other members of the Cynarthra group remained unknown. In recent times, researchers have been successful in extracting bits of DNA from the fossilized carapace of a Doedicurus that was unearthed in South America 12,000 years ago. Their goal was to determine unequivocally where on the armadillo family tree Doedicurus and the other glyptodonts fit in with the rest of the armadillo ancestors. Their research led them to the conclusion that glyptodonts were a unique subfamily of armadillos that lived during the Pleistocene epoch. The closest extant cousin of these 1,000-pound behemoths is the dwarf pink fairy armadillo of Argentina, which is just a few inches across at its widest point. Glyptodonts and their modern relatives are thought to have descended from the same small-bodied species that lived 35 million years ago and was their common ancestor. Its creature measured only approximately 13 pounds. The enormous glyptodonts branched out as a group relatively fast, but the contemporary armadillo did not develop until roughly 30 million years later, after the glyptodonts had already been extinct. According to one idea, the exceptional development of the Doedicurus was made possible in large part by the fact that its back was not articulated. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. See you in the next video.